Vaishali said to initiate the valedictory function. I really don't know, actually, since last 2 days, since 15th, we have all been a part of this wonderful confluence. I would rather call it as Vedic confluence. I call it as confluence because we have seen several streams of knowledge flowing in the last 2 days. Honestly speaking, I'm humbled. Just because there are so many scholars who are sitting here, and to me, all those people who have presented, who have given the knowledge, made the knowledge to flow here, are probably the seers of the present day in this context. I have not seen those seers who gave us the Vedas, the Upanishads, but it is these seers who actually are taking forward the richness, the values, the Indian culture and other things. All said and done. This is all in the light of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo is the greatest synthesizer of the East and West, the greatest synthesizer of the past and the present and the future. He builds up the future on the basis of the past. He never negates anything. So, he is one of the greatest Maharshis of the modern era who actually given us the complete system of a philosophical, he has given us the complete philosophical system. It is, the Vedas are eternal, apaurushaya. The knowledge which comes through the Vedas flows eternally, and the knowledge that it gives, it contains, is also eternal. When that is at the one end of the spectrum, we should also not negate the other end of the spectrum, and that is the modern world. Where are we going? Where are we heading? Since last 2,000 crores of years, as per science, approximately 15 to 20 billions of years of science, starting from the creation, from the Big Bang, if you see, there has always been a perpetual evolution. In the beginning, there was physical evolution, the formation of the stars, etc., etc. Then the chemical evolution, the formation of the gases, the oxygen, the concentration of the oxygen in the atmosphere. And slowly, as we progressed, as the evolution progressed, there was a biological evolution, which was symbolically represented in the scriptures as avatars, the Dashavataras which came into the picture, that exactly followed the evolutionary process which has come into the picture. And as in time passed, the human being, the present human being, as Sri Aurobindo says, is a transition being. He is not the ultimate rung of the human evolutionary process. He is just a transitionary being where the reason and logic are his characters. What we need to do is we need to ascend this logic and reason, and we have to ascend and get into the higher state of consciousness. I really don't know what to say about it, but there has been, what exactly is required is this synthesis. I would like to cite up a few incidences how absolutely necessary this synthesis is required, and how Sri Aurobindo resonates to this modern synthesis. I happen to represent India in the global summit in Kyoto. So just before my presentation, there was a senior Japanese professor of physics sitting next to me. And he was noting down the speeches, whatever has happened, and he just, on the top of it, the way we write Sri, Om, etc., he wrote Sri Aurobindo's symbol. Oh. I was amazed. He was 84. He was a physics professor teaching in Kyoto University, Japan. When I talked to him and I asked him, why are you writing Sri Aurobindo? Have you visited Pondicherry, etc.? And finally, he turned out to be an ardent devotee of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. And dear friends, here comes the revelation. I asked him, you are a physics teacher, professor, And how are you connected with? He told me one thing. He was guiding 11 physics PhDs in the field of matter and antimatter. And in the coursework, he said, he makes it compulsory to read Sri Aurobindo's writings, chapter number 11 and 12 of Life Divine, Matter and Antimatter, as the compulsory coursework.
Fair.
This is Sri Aurobindo's contribution to the present world. How synthesis comes into the picture. If we do not understand matter as a grade of consciousness, where the Supreme Lord, from the summit of his consciousness, descends into the matter, and that is where the matter represents a grade of consciousness, the riddle of the matter and antimatter, which is not known even to the world today, cannot be resolved.
No.
So the matter has to be considered as a grade of consciousness. As we ascend further, the mind has to be considered as a grade of consciousness. Sri Aurobindo laid on the basis of Vedic wisdom, everything, every line Sri Aurobindo utters in Life Divine, in Synthesis of Yoga, in Savitri, is based on the Vedic scriptures. He never deviates from Vedas and Upanishads. What we need is an interpreters. Nowadays what we see is the interpretations of the interpreters which have already been done. This is varying from time to time, from context to context, and this is what exactly is needed. The life would not have evolved in matter, or the mind would not have evolved in life unless the higher principles were already involved in the matter and life. And so, how can we think that mind or the man is the ultimate rung of the evolutionary process? Simple logic. It has not happened in the last 2000 crores of years, and how can we claim that man is the supreme in the ladder? He is not. There is an interesting analogy. I would request the organizers to give me a couple of minutes. Very interesting. If you take this 2000 crores of years and equate it to 24 hours for the better understanding, because we cannot imagine what 2000 crores of years was. Convert that into a 24 hours time schedule, and the appearance of man in this 24 hours is 2 seconds. And the appearance of modern man, the Homo sapiens sapiens, the species what we all belong to, is 0.2 seconds. So in 24 hours, the modern human species belong to 0.2 seconds, and we claim that we know everything in the universe. How ignorant are we? This is where the language, the knowledge has to come into the picture. How do we bring together, how do we harmoniously synthesize this knowledge coming into the picture comes. Since yesterday, to me, honestly speaking, every time a seer comes, I have read, and I was talking to Prabhakar sir also this morning, I have read in somewhere, every Manvantara, the same rishis who have given us, who have seen these Vedas and then given us, the same rishis in different forms, in different Manvantaras, they appear and then give the knowledge in proportional to the context. When one of the sadhaks of ashram, when he tried to read Savitri, Sri Aurobindo's Savitri is one of the greatest epic poems that exists in the universe today. I have personally seen Sri Aurobindo's papers in Cambridge University, which have been archived even today. His writings, one of the essays, the English professor has written, it is an honor to read Auro's essay, probably the first Indian to teach English to the Englishmen in the United States. This is the recorded paper which is preserved in Cambridge University in archive section. Now what becomes important is, how do we change? how do we interpret the old values, the Vedic wisdom, and apply it to and that is living Veda. And that's why Sri Aurobindo called in his philosophy, in one line, for Sri Aurobindo is nothing but all life is yoga. For Sri Aurobindo, it is not renunciation of the world. It is not individual moksha. For Sri Aurobindo, it is not only individual, but also it is collective. It is not just reaching the truth, the highest point, but it is bringing down that highest supramental, that Atimanasa Shakti onto the earth and then transform the lower nature to establish divine life upon earth. That is Sri Aurobindo's yoga, and that is the most relevant thing as of now. We are talking, we cannot forget the influence of all the modern days happenings. We cannot forget artificial intelligence. That is going to create a huge influence. But how do we bring the harmony and understand? How do we teach those values? One of the youngsters, in the end, this experiment is happening, and in my own humble way, how do we bring the values of the Vedic values, the Vedic wisdom in the 21st century skills? The problem is not that. The problem here is everybody speaks on two different spectrums. The problem is there. A teacher in the classroom is very much willing to infuse the moral values in her class. But she doesn't know, or he doesn't know, how to teach moral values while teaching the subject of light in physics. That is the problem. Standing at two different spectrums and talking is not the issue. The problem is how do we bring it together. So one simple exercise, as an exercise, I do it in my school where I have 1,000 kids. How do we improve the faculty of human beings through these values? Through meditation. One of the speakers said, yes, meditation is absolutely important. But can we tell a class child of one's first grade or LKG or UKG to close its eyes and meditate, contemplate on God? It would be foolish on my part to expect that one first standard child. So we evolved a method. I requested my teachers for 1 minute. In my 35 minutes or 40 minutes class, we practice 1 minute silence. I requested the teacher to tap the table using a pen or anything like this for about a minute. Ask the children to close their eyes and then count the numbers. It looks very simple, very complicated, or probably silly in the initial time. No, but this exercise has got a great faculty development program. The faculty of hearing when you close your eyes, the faculty of concentration, the faculty of focus increases to such an extent. In 5 years, the children are capable of identifying any person who is coming from behind merely by listening to the footsteps. Isn't it a wonderful contribution based on the old values of meditation, focus, concentration, and then give it to the children? Because the present day generation has forgotten that vision and listening are two important different faculties. Because of our mobile, because of our TV, our auditory and visionary vision has clubbed, and then we cannot understand or assimilate. The whole learning process fails if we do not have auditory and then visual effects. Whereas these two are the most important faculties to develop in children. It does not apply only to children, it applies to us also. So I think this has been a great confluence. I would like to use that. There are wonderful speakers. I'm nobody actually here in front of the great scholars. And Ramchandra Kotemaneji used to come to our JP Nagar campus when probably I was studying in my college. And I used to listen to him. And even today, It is the same, with same sincerity, with same enthusiasm. What we need to do is, how can we be the instruments in kindling that spark in the next generation? And my one appeal to all those people who just say something in the name of Sri Aurobindo, please don't do that. Unless I know the core subject, it is better to speak on that. If I don't know, please don't refer to it. We will be doing great injustice not only to Sri Aurobindo, to anybody. Quote something and then put the name of this thing. That has happened here. Some of the people did that. But my appeal to them is, don't quote them properly. This has to be, this study, this sincerity, this honesty also has to be complemented with all our effort. With these few words, I'm so sorry, Paranjapeji's this whole idea, the whole concept of this living Veda, actually, he is the person who started. We three were sitting together and then he just initiated it, and then that is how this has been translated into this wonderful epiphany, I would say. That it's a Vedic epiphany, it's a Vedic confluence, and let us see, we hope, with the blessings of all the elders here and the encouragement that comes, the youngsters come forward, we will take it forward. We need to take forward India. The whole eastern India is going to the west, and west is coming into the east. And that's an unfortunate thing, but we have geographical boundaries only on the maps. All other cases, all these boundaries have erased. With these few words, I think I'll keep the floor open to the next speakers. Thank you very much, and I'm extremely sorry if I've overstepped into your time. Thank you.